and today we are recreating this awesome WoW art challenge. If you want to find that actual video, find it in the description or at the end of this video. So get right into it. Woot woot, my first painting back on my channel after so many months. So here I am starting with what I usually start with is the sky or background, and I chose an angular brush just because I like how this brush does the strokes. That's about it, nothing all that fancy to it. And oh, if you are wondering, the colors are in the description, so you can find them there, all the different colors I used for painting. And then if you don't like that, let me know in the comments and I may just pop them up on the screen as I go. Just let me know, okay? For those who don't know me, welcome to my channel. My name is Mimi, which is a nickname, and I am a self-taught artist, which basically means I did not go to art school. I did not follow any art classes or courses, except for watching other YouTube videos and get inspired. My favorite brush of all times, the fan brush. I use it for many things, and you'll see it return again later in this painting. But right now it is time to put in some lovely clouds. By the way, if you want to know how to do clouds, I do have a tutorial on that. I'll pop that up at the top of the screen. You can find that also in my playlist. Now, I already knew beforehand that this part of the painting was going to be partially or mostly covered by cliffs, rocks, whatever you want to call them. So I was not really being very particular about what I put down. I just put down some white, messed around with it, call it a cloud. One tip, don't put on this masking tape when the paint is wet. Found out the hard way. So yeah, I was gonna ease myself into it, and guess what I'm holding? The palette knife, which is not my biggest friend, but I thought, well, you don't really learn by not using the tool, so may as well get right into it. Still in the process of buying some better quality paints, but they are a little bit more expensive, so it is taking me a little bit of time. So the top blue part is like a cheap dollar store paint. This little middle blue one here, it's called Cerulean Blue. That is a little more of a higher end type paint, and you can actually see the difference because it applies a lot nicer, it's thicker and creamier, and it's not as watery. And here comes my favorite part. Put some turquoise, or in this case aqua green, in your ocean and it looks like a tropical place almost instantly. I love this pop of color. won't really see how long I kind of worked on like the shoreline, because I did put some time and effort into it, because it just wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. I mean, this is me at the beginning of it, so, but you'll see me jump around to more of a finished product eventually. I did cut out a bunch of my messing around. Always so satisfying, that straight horizon. Okay, let's go in with a flat brush. I am actually following along at this point with the video, kind of following the same lines to get an outline of where I want these cliffs to be. And yeah, that's basically it. It's a mixture of brown and black, and I'm just going for the outline, and then it's just a matter of filling it in. And there we have the final part. As you can see, I have absolutely no steady hand. I cannot really do any straight lines. I can't even cut straight with scissors. So, but hey, everybody their weaknesses, right? Oops, made a tiny little mistake there. Well, it's okay. We still need some shadows in that water anyway. Back in with the palette knife. This is my teeny weeny awesome little mini palette knife. I like it. I'm just trying to create a bit of a shoreline idea and effect, following along with the painting. However, I must say some of the ways I do things are different than the painting that I'm actually recreating. And that's totally fine, because hey, I'm me and that person is that person. So hey, we all do our own thing. A little bit of the, you know, the brown sandy type color back in, because I went a little overboard with some of the white. All good, all good. And back with my trusty little palette knife. Like I said, it's not my most favorite thing to work with, but it's actually really cool for creating awesome effects on these cliffs and create some definition, shapes, all this wonderful stuff. And it was a good practice for me. So I did work on this part quite some time. I mean, not hours or anything, but I did put some time and effort into it and took my time to do it. I mean, when it comes to trees, I'm a lot more quicker because I'm very confident doing them. With this, it takes me a little bit longer. This is why I watch other people paint, because I would not have thought of sticking some blue tones in there, and it sure changed the cliffs in a very good way, actually. Just going in with just plain black to try to create some shadows. Some highlights with some yellow. Well, it's kind of yellow mixed with some beige and white. Just plain yellow is probably not a good idea. Touching up on a few spaces, and you know, a big black blob turns into something that resembles a cliff. Going in with a bigger palette knife just to work on that shore a little bit more, letting those cliffs dry, messing around, because that's kind of what I was doing my best here. And boom, you've got a wave. I just found that out by doing this painting. It's quite funny. To start the trees or bushes, whatever is growing on those cliffs. So this is a pine green, just a plain pine green. I think I mixed a little bit of black, not white, hello, a little bit of black in there. So when I do trees or anything like bushes or whatever, I always start with the darkest color first, and then I layer on top of that. The next color, this is holiday green mixed in with the same color that I just used before this, so it doesn't look like such a huge contrast and the colors go well together. Fast forward a little bit, and here comes my fan brush, and I'm starting to go into some smaller details and some more highlighting. So this is a lighter color green. All the colors will be in the description, and I mix in a little bit of the previous paint that I used before, just so that the colors really look nice and natural together. I always enjoy this part because all of a sudden your painting just starts coming together. And the next color, I believe this is tropical green, which is, you know, suiting for this painting. Now I could have gone with a slightly smaller fan brush. I had to be careful how I angled it. I made a couple of little oopsies. But you can fix them easily by just changing the angle and going kind of back and forth until you get what you want. Just playing with it. when you do place highlights, determine where your light is coming from, where you think the sun is hitting it, and don't just like randomly place them, because then it's going to look a little weird. And here comes my yellow and final highlighting of these rocks, cliffs, what have you. Tropical island type seascape thingy. Have you ever been to a tropical island? I have not. I would like to, one day, sometime. Maybe then I can do an actual, like, painting as I see it in front of me. That would be cool. See, there I made a tiny mistake, and then I just work around it to not make it look like a weird little line. And if all else fails, just dab it with your finger. Mixed a bunch of colors that were already on my palette, and to create something, you know, that would look like a shadow in the water, because otherwise this is gonna look kind of weird. All of a sudden, boom, there is like this big flippin' thing in the ocean, partially land, whatever it is, and there's no shadow. You gotta add a shadow. Bit of a darker color, added a little bit of brown into it. This was trial and error for me, by the way. So did a little something, looked at it, maybe changed a little bit. Like, I haven't got the whole process here on this video, just because for the sake of time. And a little bit darker still. Looked a little blotchy, so I kind of wanted to marry it a little bit together. And I started with this blue, but very quickly I realized, like, now that didn't quite do it. Not exactly how I had it in mind, but hey, that's how you learn. Back in with one of my favorite colors, the Aqua Green. Highlights it a little bit, marries the things together a little bit more, gives it that tropical feel. Once I started to add this color in, I was a lot happier. Water lines, impression of waves. Palette knife is awesome for that. At least I got that down. Okay, wasn't happy with that. So smudge it out and go back in later, fix it. Something like that. And then I went gone back in with a small, tiny little brush just to make little details, just to add a little bit more of a, shadow here, a highlight there, just to make some things kind of sink to the background or pop out to the front, or just filling in some spaces that didn't quite look right. Obviously, you can kind of get lost in this. I didn't want to spend hours on it, but and eventually you need to step back, look at your painting and go, huh, you did a pretty darn good job. Just leave it for what it is. My tip to you would be, don't just have a plain black freaking blob, because then it looks just like that, a hole into nothingness. There's always some sort of light hitting something. And that, my ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the very end result. Take that tape up, girl. Oh yeah, and my palette and the paint that I used. Just, there you go. There it is, my rocky island. Let me know what you think. What should I have done different? What should I have changed? Thank you so much for watching though, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.